Hello and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Now today we are going to be doing a serious X-rated video, so watch this before it gets banned. We're going to be talking about clutches. Now I'm not going to be going through all the names of clutches and kind of like that. I'm just going to run through the type of clutches you can get for your car. I'm not even going to run through what they do because it's fairly obvious. Basically they transfer the power from your engine to your gearbox to your wheels that makes the car drive. But depending on the clutch you get, they can transfer more power, less power, they can do all sorts of different things. So the first one we're going to look at, this is just a normal bog standard clutch. So it's got springs in it, just fairly small. This is off, I don't know exactly what this is off, but it's off a fairly small car. Just a normal average day clutch. That's kind of what a normal clutch will look like. Now depending on your car it might be physically bigger or smaller, but basically that's what a normal clutch looks like. But a normal clutch is designed to kind of run every day, to be nice and smooth and nice and make your pedal feel nice and soft. It does slip, but you know it's just a normal everyday clutch. If you want something a bit stronger, well then what you have to go to is an organic clutch. Now essentially this looks the same. It's got springs in it, you know, and it's a clutch, but this is organic, so the material on this is a lot harder and it basically transfers the power. It doesn't slip as much as what a normal clutch would. These are really good if you just kind of put in a bit more horsepower in your car. Well, even if you're not, even if you just want a slightly strong clutch, you will feel it a bit in your pedal. Your pedal will be slightly harder, and you know, so you will feel a slight difference. But this is an organic clutch. Now we get into the exciting. If you want to go all out and you want like a racing clutch, but still kind of a road clutch, so in the middle, you can go for this, which is a paddle clutch. Now, again, it has springs in, as you can see. Now, and it's physically smaller than this one, as you can see, but again, this most probably will run your car better, even though it's smaller. And as you can see, the paddles, they are only got 4 paddles. So you would have thought, well, hold on a second, this has got stuff all the way around, this is going to work better, this is going to slip more. They just don't. You can get 3 paddle clutches, 4, 5, 6, 7 paddle clutches, so, you know, but that's what basically what a paddle clutch looks like. So you'd kind of think, well, hold on a second, this is going to slip more. And it's nowhere near as thick brand new, which it isn't. Brand new, it's a lot thinner than a normal clutch. But believe it or not, these do not slip nowhere near as much as a normal clutch. I know it looks weak, but I can assure you that is, well, they're brilliant. The downside to these, your pedal's going to feel harder. If you're not smooth with the gear changes, it will jump. But the other thing these do, and you have to be careful of, these will eat your flywheel. The metal or the material that's on here will just absolutely eat your flywheel, to a point of where when your clutch starts slipping, your paddle clutch might be fine, but it's maybe worn 2 or 3 mil off a standard flywheel and it makes the clutch slip. So that's the downside to these. Even with an upgraded flywheel, yes, they do last longer, but paddle clutches will still eat them away. Now if you want to go for more aggressive paddle clutch, which I don't really think you should go for this next one in a car, in a road car, because it can kind of spoil the ride as such. Again, this is a paddle clutch. Now this is off the same car, so they're the same thicknesses, but as you can see, this has no spring in it whatsoever, where this one does. So this one will feel a hell of a lot harder on the pedal, but it grips like that. It's like a switch. It's on or off. It takes a while to get used to a kind of a clutch like this on a road car. You're at a set of traffic lights and you're maybe showing off, or you're trying to rev your car and you don't get the revs particularly right, or you can stall the car and make yourself look like an absolute tit very quickly with one of these. But the upside to this is you lose, well, compared to the standard clutch, the slip and the horsepower, it's not so much, they do slip, so let's just say horsepower for example, so you potentially are losing a few horsepower from, because this is just a normal bog standard clutch, where this clutch, it won't slip as much, so technically you're kind of gaining horsepower. You're not making your car any more horsepower, but you're not losing grip from the inside of the clutch like you would be on a normal clutch. But again, these are very severe. The pedal is a lot harder and you will destroy your flywheel. Well, I wouldn't say destroy your flywheel. I mean, depending on how you drive the car, most flywheels in a car on a normal clutch will last the life of the clutch no problem. And it's only just best if you're replacing the clutch to replace everything, because of it's just easier and safer. Where with this, you'll mostly find this will last twice as long as your flywheel. So this will most probably, you'll get away with one of these, and on a standard flywheel you'll have to use 2 standard flywheels to basically, before this is worn down. So that's the downside. You're changing your flywheels a lot more than you would be when you're using a clutch like this. But the upside is brilliant in the sense of, you know, you will feel the car a lot grippier, a lot better to change the gears. But on a you know, when you're in the middle of town, you know, and there's someone in front of you driving slow, there can be a bit of a nightmare because you have to kind of slip the clutch pedal to go off, and these don't really like slipping because they just want to go. So, you know, it can be annoying. Now we get on to my favourite, the one that's in my car at the minute, my Mark 1, and I'm going to need a minute because this is proper. This is proper X-rated now, proper porn this. This is like the ultimate clutch. It's a twin plate clutch. Now you can get a 3-plate clutch, but even then, it just depends on the horsepower of your car. But these twin plate, 3-plate clutches are the kind of the ultimate in performance clutches. You do not want to put these on a road car just because you're at traffic lights, and when you drive through town slipping the clutch, these just don't like it. The car will hop. By all means put them in your car, but they will kind of hop. Now, are you ready? Now, it might not look much at the minute. That's the pressure plate, and if we look into it here, we can actually see the plate clutches. Now, believe it or not, this is, I'll show you the clutch plate first. This is the clutch plate, and this is the clutch I had in the car before. As you can see, a hell of a lot smaller in diameter, so you think, well hold on, it's smaller, it's not going to be as good. But believe me, these are phenomenal. 7.5 inch or 7.25 inch clutch, which is a small clutch, but the power these things can put through is phenomenal. I need a minute. Now we'll just go through basically what's in this. So as you can see, we have one clutch, then we basically have a plate which is between the 2 clutches, and then we have the second clutch, and then we have the pressure plate. So you can see this, and this all fits in one car. So this is why it's called a twin paddle clutch, because it has 2 clutch plates. Now it is just an absolute work of art. They're so light compared to a normal clutch. This is the other plate that actually comes out, so we'll take that off. They're so light compared to a normal clutch, and they just spin up so much faster and just so much grip, and they take serious abuse. I mean, you know, if you've got a dog box or a sequential box, you can just bang these up and down the gears and you know the clutch will take it. Now, just like anything performance, just because this is a twin paddle clutch and it is a hell of a lot more expensive than a standard clutch, and I mean a hell of a lot more expensive, but that standard clutch will last longer than this clutch. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Just because you pay a fortune for something doesn't mean it's going to last longer than, let's say, the cheaper one. And tyres are the same way. You buy the top brand tyres, are a soft compound, they're designed for grip, but they don't last long. This thing is designed for grip, so it just grips the power, all the power coming through the car. It will not let go, and it'll send you all that power to the wheels. But obviously it's getting hot, it's spinning. When you're got a dog box or sequential box and you're banging it up through the gears without using the clutch because you don't have to, this thing takes serious amount of pressure. To give you some idea, if I was to put this clutch, not that this fits my car, but if I was to put this clutch in my Mark 1 and I was to go up the road, properly hard up the road, with the gearbox and not use the clutch, this will just not work. I'd be losing most of my car's power because it just will be spinning. The car will be going forward, but it just will be spinning and basically going nowhere, where this doesn't. I mean, you know, this is just pure, it's just porn. Just pure and utter porn. So that's what a twin clutch plate looks like. Physically smaller than a normal clutch, but a million times better. Again, these paddles do wear down, but the beauty of this, depending on what you do, you can actually buy each individual part separately. You don't have to always buy the complete unit. So if you've warped the middle plate, for example, or the middle plate gets broke or whatever happens, you can actually just replace the middle plate. Obviously it is better replacing everything, but you don't necessarily always need to. So yeah, that is just absolutely gorgeous. I use this type and another type on my car which has kind of paddles, but they're all more or less the same. And yeah, just absolutely, well, I mean, just look at it. I mean, isn't it just gorgeous? So if you want me to go further in detail into exactly what these clutches will do, I can do that, but I just want to give you kind of a view of what clutches, depending on what one you actually want to buy and kind of how much money you want to spend. This will give you a rough idea of what you can actually do with clutches. I don't think it's best to maybe go with a full-on double clutch system for your road car, because when you get out on the main road, yeah, it's brilliant, but through towns and stuff, they're a nightmare. Paddle clutches, organic clutches and paddle clutches, I wouldn't go for the full-on non-spring one. I'd go for maybe something like this for your car, so either the organic clutch or the paddle clutch with the springs in. But just bear in mind, paddle clutches will wear your flywheel down. And just to give you another idea, this is the flywheel, just kind of a standard flywheel. As you can see, it's quite big. The plate where the actual clutch sits is really wide, really quite big. And this is the flywheel for my twin paddle clutch. Now, as you can see, the actual place where the clutch sits is far thinner. The standard clutch on the car fitted, well, you could say where my fingers are there now. That's where the standard plate fitted, where this is half as thick again, but 100 times better. I know that sounds wrong, and you think, well, there's no way, hold on, if there's a bigger clutch and it's gripping more and it's bigger, it's better. It just isn't. They just don't work that way, not when it comes to paddle clutches. So yeah, and the other good thing about the twin paddle clutch is that the weight's more in the centre, and it's just better. So that'll give you some idea what it looks like. If you were to look at it, you think there's no way it would work, it's too small, but believe me, they are absolutely fantastic. So if you want me to kind of go into more detail on clutches, I can do, but this just gives you a rough idea of kind of what clutch to buy. I would, like I said, personally, I would say you'd want to go with an organic clutch or a paddle clutch, but you've also got to remember, if you do go for these organic clutches or paddle clutches, don't rely on your standard pressure plates, because your standard pressure plate springs won't be strong enough to give you the full advantage of these clutches. If you're going to go for one of these clutches, you have to buy the whole kit. So get the upgraded pressure plate, and also get the upgraded release bearing, because if you put standard release bearings on these clutches, especially the performance clutches, you will just destroy them in a matter of months. The pressure plate will not be strong enough to give you the full advantage of these either. So buy the complete kit. If you buy the complete kit, believe me, you put it in, you will notice a difference in power. You'd swear overnight your car's gained horsepower, where it hasn't. It's able to use all that horsepower. But then it also comes down to how good are your tyres. You can have all the horsepower in the world, if you can't put it down to the ground, well then it's pointless having horsepower. And if you want proper power delivery on the road, well then here you go. This is a 10-inch full-on racing slick with them proper performance clutches and these tyres. You will feel your car is twice as fast as it's ever been without actually putting any more horsepower in your car. So this is where it just goes, oh, caught it. This is where it just gets stupid, because this is where the money starts getting to absolutely ridiculous. But yes, this is a tyre I use on the track with that twin plate clutch. Unbelievable. But the more problems then is because you've got grippier tyres. If you don't have good strong parts on your car, these tyres can snap drive shafts, they can snap diffs, they can snap everything, because when these heat up, the grip that's in these are phenomenal. So be careful, that's all I'm saying. It just gets into a minefield. If you want me to go into any more detail, any parts of what you see in this video, let me know. But just look at that. It's a bit dusty, but see, porn. I just need a minute again. I just need a minute. I don't blame anyone for pausing this part and just looking, because yeah. So look, hope it helps. Thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one.